Give me what the environment was like with a minute to go in the Garden, Chris.
Thanks for having me on, DP. It was an incredible experience. That was my first Knick playoff game working as a sideline reporter. So I was very interested in seeing how that turnout was going to shape out. But it was incredible. But that last minute, my seat, I have a seat directly behind the Sixers bench. And a minute left into that game, you're just seeing the Sixers. They're pounding their chests. They're excited. They believe they got this game. They believe they're about to finish this game. And it was the fans. They were down and somber. It looked like we were going back to Philadelphia 1-1. And then it happened. And when I say it happened, a lot happened. I mean, it just turned that place upside down. Look, I know the controversial non-call holding of Tyrese Maxey, and the Sixers have asked the league to review that. They filed a complaint on that. I don't think anything is going to come of that. But with that being said, take that away. The Knicks crashed the boards off his rebounds, dove on the floor to get the ball. They wanted it. They really wanted it. And that's the thing. When I look at this matchup, I believe talent-wise, I believe Philadelphia has the better team talent-wise. But the Knicks, they got some dogs. They got some dogs over there. Josh Hart, Hartenstein, Dante, I don't want to mess up his name.
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. I always have a hard time saying that. I'll just stay with Dante. They got some dogs over there. And so I think ultimately that's what's putting them in favor and putting them ahead as of right now.
Who should be favored now?
You gotta stay the Knicks. I mean, they took care of home court advantage. This is if I'm a Sixers fan, my concern going into game 3 is that they might not be over game 2. Just the way that it ended. And the complaints that they have, valid complaints. You can obviously see Jalen Brunson kind of pulled that Tyrese Maxey's jersey. Valid complaints, but there's a time when you have to kind of move on, and you can't let that settle in. And I'm not saying that's the case, but you can see a scenario play out in which game 2 might have been the game that broke the series down. I don't know. Philly still has, they got home court now for the next 2 games, I should say. But that was a brutal loss for sure.
Why didn't Philly take a timeout?
Well, Nick Nurse was actually calling the timeout. The ref looked like he didn't see him or he ignored him. So you could see on the sideline Nick Nurse trying to get the ref's attention. But also Kyle Lowry, who's inbounding that ball, they would have seen him if he would have called a timeout. So I think it was a situation where the ref they were looking at the players, and that environment was loud. Like DP, it was one of the better playoff environments I've been in a long time. So it was loud. So I guess I can see that the ref probably didn't hear Nick Nurse on the sideline trying to call a timeout, but they would have saw the players. If Kyle Lowry would have signaled for a timeout, I think they would have got it.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it right now. It's like Nick Nurse wants to call the timeout. He hesitates a little bit there. And then the ball is loose, so you can't call that timeout if the ball is loose. Yeah. So I think he missed the opportunity to call the timeout.
Yeah, I mean, and also like Kyle Lowry, him being a veteran, being a champion, like I believe he knows they still have a timeout left. Like he has to feel it. He has a ticking clock in his head. He understands, it's about to be close to being a 5-second call. Like he has to know and understand the time as well. So I don't know what happened right there. Maybe the players didn't know they had a timeout. I don't know, but that was an unfortunate situation.